Welcome back to my channel. This is Taekook fanfiction story. When Alpha Policeman and Omega Mafia King fell in love Part 2. If you did not watch the first part, please go watch it first. Are you ready? Let's start. The rain fell in thin sheets that night, the Seoul streets slick with silver reflections. Jungkook sat in his unmarked car, eyes narrowed as he tracked the black Mercedes weaving through the side roads. He had followed Taehyung for weeks now, watching him move like a phantom through the city, untouchable, untamed. But tonight something was different. The car pulled into a deserted industrial district, stopping near a narrow alley drowned in shadows. Jungkook slipped out of his vehicle, silent as he followed. His instincts screamed, he's hunting. From the corner he watched. Taehyung dragged a man out of the back seat, one of his own lieutenants, bound and gagged, eyes wide with terror. Please, boss," the man choked, stumbling as Taehyung shoved him forward. I didn't mean to. You sold my routes to the Jang family." Taehyung's voice was cold, lethal. His tone cut sharper than the blade in his hand. "You thought I wouldn't find out? You thought you could betray me and live to tell the tale?" The man dropped to his knees, trembling. "Spare me. I'll fix it, I swear I'll." Taehyung's boot struck his chest, knocking him flat to the wet pavement. "I don't give second chances." His hand tightened around the dagger. Jungkook's jaw clenched. His orders had been to observe. But he couldn't stand there and watch Taehyung take a life. Not when the law existed. Not when he'd sworn to protect. The moment Taehyung raised his weapon, Jungkook moved. He lunged from the shadows, grabbing the man and yanking him back just as the blade slashed down. The steel screeched against concrete instead of flesh. Taehyung's eyes widened, then narrowed dangerously. His alpha-like aura flared like fire. "You." Jungkook shoved the trembling man behind him, standing tall. His police badge glinted faintly under the dim light. "This man betrayed you. Fine. But he doesn't answer to your judgment. He answers to the law." Taehyung's lip curled. "Law?" He spat the word like poison. "What good is your law when it bends for the powerful and breaks the weak? My law is simple. Betrayal equals finished, done. That is how order survives in my world." Jungkook's eyes hardened. "Not tonight." Taehyung took a slow step forward, weapon gleaming in his hand. His voice dropped into a dark, silken growl. "How dare you? How dare you put yourself between me and my justice? Do you even understand who I am?" Jungkook's heart thundered, but he refused to back down. He squared his shoulders, his alpha aura exploding outward, pressing hard against Taehyung's carefully constructed mask. "I know exactly who you are. Kim Taehyung. Mafia King. Criminal. Pretending to be untouchable." He took another step closer, eyes locked on Taehyung's. "And I don't care." The air crackled with tension. The clash of dominance almost visible between them. Taehyung's nostrils flared, his grip tightening on his weapon. "You're a fool," he hissed. "Do you think your little badge will save you? One word from me and you'll vanish. You'll be nothing." Jungkook didn't flinch. His voice was steel, steady and sharp. "Then do it. Stab me." He leaned slightly forward, daring, his chest nearly brushing Taehyung's. "Kill me right here. Prove to me you're nothing but a coward hiding behind fear. Go on. Shoot me, cut me, do it." Taehyung froze. His weapon hovered in the air, his eyes burning with fury, but also confusion. No one had ever dared him like this before. No one had ever stood taller, refusing to kneel. Jungkook's aura pulsed stronger, pressing down. But if you don't, then get out of my way. This man is under arrest. And if you ever try to stop me again, remember this moment. You couldn't break me. The silence roared louder than the rain. Taehyung's chest rose and fell sharply, his mask slipping for just a second. Enough for Jungkook to sense that strange hidden sweetness in his scent again. An Omega's scent. But before he could react, Taehyung clicked his tongue and stepped back, eyes narrowing to slits. You're reckless, Officer John. But fine. Take your trash. He put his weapon down with a sharp motion, his voice low and dangerous. But know this. Next time I won't stop at words. Jungkook exhaled, gripping the trembling traitor by the collar as he pulled him toward the street. His gaze lingered one last time on Taehyung, standing tall under the rain, shadows clinging to him like armor. And for the first time, Jungkook realized something terrifying. Kim Taehyung wasn't just his mission. He was his challenge. His obsession, maybe even his fate. The night in the alley had left tension buzzing in the air like static before a storm. Taehyung's sharp words still echoed in Jungkook's ears. Mockery, venom, and an underlying fire that made him both infuriating and dangerous. For Jungkook, though, the arrest had been worth it. The man Taehyung had dragged into that dark alley was now behind bars, awaiting trial. Justice would take its course. Not a bullet, not blood on the pavement. But Taehyung wasn't one to let things slide. 2 nights later, Jungkook found himself once again stationed near the district where Taehyung's men roamed. The Mafia king knew he was being watched. Hell, Jungkook suspected Taehyung enjoyed it. And sure enough, Taehyung made no effort to hide when he emerged from one of his clubs, dressed in a dark silk shirt, his aura commanding every eye on the street. His men surrounded him, but Jungkook's eyes caught the subtle smirk tugging at Taehyung's lips the moment he spotted him leaning against his police car. Officer John, Taehyung drawled, voice dripping mockery. Or should I say, my personal babysitter? You're everywhere I go. Should I start charging you for a front row seat? Jungkook clenched his jaw but didn't flinch. I'm doing my job, Kim. Keep walking. But Taehyung wasn't done. He stepped closer, letting his men hang back. His gaze locked with Jungkook's, testing him, burning into him. You humiliated me in front of my people the other night? Taehyung hissed lowly, his breath brushing Jungkook's ear as he leaned in. Snatching my prey, undoing my judgment. Do you know what that does to my reputation? Do you know how dangerous it is to make me look weak? Jungkook turned his head, meeting Taehyung's piercing eyes without hesitation. Weak isn't letting the law handle things. Weak is hiding behind executions in the dark. If that's all your power amounts to, then maybe your reputation isn't worth much. The words landed like a strike, and Jungkook could almost see the fire flare behind Taehyung's calm mask. For a moment, the Mafia king's composure cracked and his jaw tightened. You think you're brave? Taehyung murmured, almost too quiet for anyone else to hear. But bravery without sense gets people killed. One day, Officer John, you'll regret crossing me. Jungkook smirked faintly, stepping closer so their shoulders almost brushed. Then shoot me. Do it right now if you want. But if you don't, then you'll just have to live with me ruining your executions. The air thickened with the challenge. Jungkook's alpha aura pressing heavy, daring Taehyung to make a move. And for a fleeting second, Taehyung's fingers twitched, as if tempted to reach for the gun weapon in his jacket. But instead he let out a soft, dangerous laugh. "You're playing with fire, officer. And fire burns." With that, he turned sharply, signaling his men, and vanished into the night, leaving Jungkook standing alone but far from defeated. The next morning, Jungkook sat stiffly across from Captain Min Yoongi in his office. Yoongi was a man of few words, his expression always unreadable, but the sharpness in his eyes meant nothing escaped him. So, Yoongi started flipping through a file. "You interfered with Kim Taehyung's business. And now he knows exactly how far you're willing to go." Jungkook stayed silent. Yoongi closed the file and leaned back in his chair. "You're bold, John. I'll give you that. But bold gets messy fast. Taehyung isn't some small-time gangster. He's a king in that world. Every move you make against him, he'll double it back on you." "I don't care," Jungkook replied firmly. "If I let him kill that man, I'd be just as guilty. My job is to enforce the law, not stand aside while someone like him plays executioner." Yoongi studied him for a long moment before sighing. "That sense of justice is why you're good at this job. But listen carefully, don't get too close to him. Don't think for a second you can change him. Men like Taehyung don't bend. They break the people who try." Jungkook frowned but didn't back down. "I'm not here to change him. I'm here to stop him." Yoongi gave him a look that was both weary and knowing. "And yet you're already too interested. I see it in your eyes. Watch yourself, John. Because the closer you get to Taehyung, the harder it'll be to keep the line between duty and disaster." Jungkook left the office with Yoongi's warning echoing in his mind. And though he told himself he wasn't interested in Taehyung, the Mafia King's mocking smirk, his fiery defiance, and the way he seemed to thrive on testing Jungkook's limits replayed in his head. Something about Kim Taehyung wasn't just dangerous, it was magnetic. And Jungkook knew this was only the beginning of a game neither of them intended to lose. The night was unusually quiet in the industrial district, the air heavy with a promise of violence. Jungkook was in his unmarked car, stationed a block away from the warehouse Taehyung had chosen for a midnight exchange. Through his time watching, Jungkook studied the scene. Taehyung, dressed in his usual commanding black, moved with elegance and authority as his men flanked him. His confidence radiated like a charming armor, but Jungkook knew confidence could be deadly when paired with betrayal. He caught the shift before anyone else did. A whisper over a hidden radio frequency, intel Jungkook had tracked earlier. The deal was a setup. Taehyung's enemies weren't coming to trade, they were coming to bury him. Jungkook's pulse hammered in his ears. He shouldn't interfere. His job was to observe, to collect, to report. But when the first shadow crept along the rooftop aiming a rifle straight at Taehyung, Jungkook's instincts screamed louder than protocol. He moved before he could stop himself. The sharp crack of a gunshot split the night. Jungkook lunged forward, shoving Taehyung out of the line of fire, the bullet tearing into his own arm instead. The force sent him stumbling back. The color red went down his sleeve. Chaos erupted. Taehyung's men fired back, shouts filling the air. But all Jungkook could hear was Taehyung's voice, sharp and laced with disbelief. "John, what the hell are you doing?" Jungkook gritted his teeth, clutching his bleeding arm but refusing to back down. Protecting you, damn it. Get your head down. For once, Taehyung didn't move with his usual untouchable calm. His eyes, those sharp, guarded eyes, widened, stunned by the sight of Jungkook bleeding for him. The firefight ended within minutes, Taehyung's men eliminating the ambushers. Silence fell, broken only by Jungkook's uneven breaths. Taehyung stepped closer, gaze locked on Jungkook's injured hand. He saw it. His voice was low, almost shaky. You're insane. You took a bullet for me. Jungkook smirked despite the pain. Would have preferred it in the vest, but I'll live. He held Taehyung's gaze firmly. Better me than you. For the first time, Taehyung didn't answer with mockery or arrogance. His lips parted, but the words faltered. Something raw flickering across his face before he masked it again. Still, his eyes lingered on Jungkook as if trying to decipher something he didn't understand. To be continued. Hope you like this part. Please stay tuned. I promise part 3 is coming soon. Thanks for watching.